Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. This coming weekend, we will be live for our Survivor Series live reactions, probably on the YouTube. So yeah, come along and check that out. Should be a lot of fun. Us trying to ensure that messages that come through with offensive names are reported and stuff. We got to get off that platform for live streaming. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. We're going to talk about last night's compelling, thrilling, just amazing. Did Werner Herzog direct this episode of NXT 2.0?
No, but I think Paul Thomas Anderson did. They promoted his new movie. It's coming out soon.
Oh, yeah. What's that one called again?
Licorice
Pizza. Hard no for me.
Just the idea of that is food or the movie itself?
No, the movie looks great. The food. Yeah. I'm a big PTA fan. Anyways, we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, wanted to mention this. If you like the show, and if you like it ad-free, and if you want to help support Going in Raw, there's a way to do that. You go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson. $5 a month. You get the show ad-free. You get bonus content. Yesterday, we did a Friendo Club TV exclusive to the Friendos that support the show. And we talked about ways to fix WWE after Survivor Series. And I thought it was a very compelling episode of Friendo Club TV, Larson. I'll be honest with you. And you can only get that exclusive. Patreon.com/Steve and Larson, or if you're a YouTube channel member, you can get the video of that, or of course here on the Twitch, you can get it as well as a sub. So there's that. Before we dive into our NXT review, a little bit of news. Becky Lynch, in this Build to Survivor series, has been opening up about a variety of topics. She visited Ariel Helwani today on his MMA show. I think it's just, isn't it called like the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
All right, cool. Man, a lot of people are talking about still that title swap segment a couple weeks ago, and she talked about that. Charlotte Flair and of course Ric Flair. She had a lot to say, Larson. What did she say?
She did. So let's talk that segment you mentioned where they were swapping titles. It was obvious watching it that something was off with it. Whether it was changed at the last minute, something. Of course, reports followed that it went off script. People are upset about it. There was some sort of altercation between Becky and Charlotte backstage, and Becky was asked about it by Ariel Helwani, and she basically confirmed the reports that there was an altercation and that the segment did not go as planned, and it upset her. And one of the more interesting aspects of her recollection of that is she tells Ariel Helwani that she saw how the segment was going to go down, and she thought to herself, it's not going to happen this way. And sure enough, it didn't happen as scripted. And she says she went backstage, her and Charlotte exchanged words. She had she was in the dark match right after the show, so it didn't get physical. But it was interesting hearing her describe the situation with such candor. That it's one of we don't really hear that often. We hear reports about altercations backstage, and then just weeks later we get basically confirmation and details about it from one of the participants. That rarely happens. Like Jericho was in that fight with Goldberg backstage one time, and it was, I don't know, whenever he wrote his book, he talked about it. And it's just interesting to hear her sit down with Helwani and just be so seemingly honest about what happened.
Yeah, she hesitated on going into exact details with how the segment was supposed to go down. And so, because there is still an element, all wrestlers, I think, still to a degree want to protect certain things. And I'm sure she would know that she would probably cross the line if she was like going to say, well, this is what the script said.
Yeah.
That being said, she made it clear that she said, when this was proposed and this was the idea that came up, she knew immediately this was not going to happen that way. And then she said, sure enough, I had that idea going out there. I saw that it was going down. And it's funny, I did a shot-by-shot breakdown over at Wrestle Juice of the segment like a couple weeks ago, right after it happened. And you can see, like, it's awesome, like going back and watching it with like a fine tooth comb. You can see just from a human interest perspective, it's interesting to see somebody make the realization that, oh, this is happening a different way. This is now I have to improvise. Now I have to protect myself. I have to try to protect the integrity of the segment. And so to hear her, like you said, Becky Lynch is one of the few people I think that doesn't really have to worry about repercussions when it comes to that level of candor. I think she's probably trusted to protect whatever needs to be protected. But at the same time, and on top of that, it also does help build the Survivor Series match that's coming up. And I do, she had said in an earlier when she talked about not being able to trust Charlotte in the ring, I forget what interview was that, like a Sports Illustrated? I forget what it was. I do think that there's a bit of a grain of salt to be taken with the idea that she can't trust Charlotte in the ring as a competitor, as an opponent. I do think that, she's opening up about this as partially a way to sell this choreographed match between the two of them.
And also mentioning, sorry, I'll interject here real quick, mentioning the aspect of maybe not trusting Charlotte in the ring, then it's going to maybe pique people's interest in thinking, oh, is this going to go off script again?
Yeah. Well, there's also, Charlotte, and I would love to know how much of this is real or not. I mean, we all love to know about that stuff as wrestling fans, and that therein lies some of the conflict between promotions and fans. But the Charlotte Nia Jax stuff, it's like, man, are they just using some history or some perceptions about how they are in this match? Like when they were slapping each other and it was like, whoa, this is starting to get oddly chippy right now.
Yeah.
Is that just going to be sort of Charlotte's thing? I mean, she comes off as her character as a loose cannon, which I find interesting sometimes. It's like, oh, what is Charlotte going to do right here? Is she going to flip the crowd off? Is she going to go off script? When it's a segment like that championship swap, when it's clear that she's not happy with the segment and she's just going into business for herself, okay, that I'm like, okay, you're crossing a certain line there, because now you're just openly and actively, not that I don't appreciate the train wreck, TV watching, like the Montreal screw job, we all watch that back and forth. Again, watching that back and seeing the shot by shot Brett's face, understanding that, oh, I just got screwed, is interesting stuff. But Charlotte, I think, does interesting work as a character, and some of that is sort of based on her lack of giving a fuck, seemingly. And so it's interesting stuff. Obviously, they're using this to build a Survivor Series match, but it doesn't mean there's not a lot of truth in what Becky is saying. All things could be true. They could build this thing using a real incident that happened.
Exactly.
So kind of interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is. Becky also talked about a tweet from Charlotte's father, Ric Flair, that he was trying to blast her for something. I don't know exactly what. It was hard to decipher. Anyways, this is her response to Ariel. These transcripts are from WrestlingNews.co.
Oh, well, this was what he said. Because it's got the tweet right here in the WrestlingNews.co thing. He says, I think I'm going, this is November, this is only 2 days ago. I think I'm going to have to make the trip personally to see you beat the piss out of Charlotte. I don't think so, sister. The man, big time Bex, or whatever you call yourself. There's not enough choreography in the business to save you. Becky Lynch, laugh emojis. And then what was her, this response was pretty brutal. What did she say?
Yeah, this is what Becky said. Response says, quote, look, I saw that tweet, the one that you're referring to, the one that I'm kind of referring to, and I looked at it and I wrote out a response that would have been quite biting, and I deleted it. I let it go because I think it's really sad, because this is a legend. At one point, this legend, a 16-time world champion, Ric Flair, is now jealous of me. It's cool for me, and he's now trying to use me to get clout to promote whatever he has going on next, because he's dug himself into a hole with other things. So I kind of was like, just Let him out of it because it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. Which, no lies there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if anything's going to irk Charlotte, it might be that. That is a big oof.
Yeah. Yes.
But so, I mean, clearly there are some, that, and it's sad, because they obviously did have a great friendship at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, it ain't no different than the men. That shit will go out the window. When they are at the top of the business, and we heard this all the time during the Attitude Era, man, you got to look out for yourself. You got to make sure you're protected if you want to keep your spot. And I think there are, there are ways to go about that unfortunately just personalities conflict, I guess.
Yeah.
And who knows? I don't know, man. It's tough to see, two friends end up like that, but that's how it goes sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes those things happen. Speaking of Ric Flair, I don't know if you know this, Steve. He has a podcast now.
Oh, again?
Yeah, he's got a new one, and he just had his debut episode of his new podcast.
Ooh.
And during this podcast, he talked about wanting to have one more match.
No.
Yeah.
Stop
So
it.
these transcripts are from Fightful. This is what Ric Flair had to say. Quote, most assuredly, and a lot of conversation, that talk hasn't happened, but could I do it? Absolutely. I'm in better shape now than I was when Sting and I wrestled the last match on Nitro. WWE won't let me do anything, even though I'm released. I understand. They have so much liability, and I told them I would sign anything, but nobody wants me to die on their watch.
Yeah.
I'd rather die in the ring if I have to go. I'd rather not jump off the 19th floor or spend another 31 days in the ICU.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anybody die in the ring.
I don't want to see
no
a
thank
person
you.
die. I'm glad that Aronofsky cut right before they showed what happened to Randy the Ram, because I'm pretty sure he died.
That was the implication, yes.
Right? I don't want to see that shit, man.
I don't want to see that.
He was born, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. Did you know he was born in 1893?
Was not aware of that. I knew he was.
That makes him like
relatively
130 years old.
Don't want to see that.
How old is the oldest? Isn't the oldest person on the planet like 121 or something like that?
That old?
Something nuts.
That is pretty crazy.
How old? Ric Flair is not that far away from. How old is the oldest person in the world? 118. But before then, let's see here. Oh no, never mind. The oldest living person is 118. And they're 4 years shy of breaking the record of the oldest person ever, which was 122 years old.
Wow.
I'm going to obliterate that record.
You better put some. You better get some augmentations then.
143, baby. That's what I'm going for.
So Ric Flair is 72.
Yes, correct.
Within the last few years, he's had some very serious health issues.
Hey, dude, that's not like a clean living vegan 72 either.
No, that's hard living.
To be completely honest, this dude is probably closer to like 87 when he goes like normal person years. Like this dude is hard lived.
Yes.
Nobody wants to see that shit. Now, if he goes out there like he didn't he put somebody in a figure 4 at Triple Mania?
Yeah. It was Conan, I believe.
Not a big deal, right? No, that's whatever.
No. Full match, taking bumps.
No, man.
No.
I want to see.
How old is Terry Funk now?
Terry, 186.
He's 77.
Oh wow. When was his
last match?
I know he had one in 2015 against Jerry Lawler, I think. That might have been
2017.
Oh, was it?
The last.
Who was that against?
So that was 4 years ago, so he's 73. It was against Team with Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, okay.
In a tag match.
All right. Wow. Yeah. But I would suggest that, I mean, I know Terry Funk did a lot of deathmatch stuff and everything, but just like in terms of, the life, the living, I would think that Ric Flair has probably lived, boy, I don't know. That's a tough one. Who thinks lived a harder life? Like in terms of hard, not hard, but like, who's put more mileage on their body through partying and wrestling?
Yeah. I
probably
mean, I would
kind
say
of a toss up, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking strictly wrestling, I would say for sure toss up. I don't know how
I'd probably go with Funk because of the deathmatch stuff.
it could be.
But in terms of
But I mean,
then adding
Ric
partying
Flair,
to it,
yeah, you add the partying to it, which I don't know if that was Funk's thing or not. I just don't know.
well, we've never heard about it, so you would think
Exactly.
it probably isn't.
While Funk was doing a lot of the deathmatch stuff, Ric Flair was wrestling hour-long matches 8 times a week.
Yeah, but wasn't
As
Funk
champ.
wasn't Funk probably doing that too, like during his heyday
As
in
champ.
the NWA?
Yeah, but while Funk was champ, like Ric Flair was champ a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I don't know. They're both super old.
There's a lot of mileage on both of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd at this point I'd trust Funk in the ring more than Flair, but I really don't want to see either of them fight, man.
No,
it's like we have the tapes. All right, we can watch that stuff.
Funk was only NWA champ once.
Fight forever. No. All right, let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Decked. So Larson,
yeah,
I'm sure you've heard the story by now. You got a truck-owning friendo who goes to check out a football game or something at a buddy's house and completely forgets about all the stuff they left in the bed of their truck. Then when they go back to their truck, they discovered that while they were at their friend's house, the heavens had opened up and dropped rain or snow or something and completely ruined everything they left in their truck bed.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that. And the next time I hear a story like that, I'm going to tell that friendo about Decked. The Decked drawer system is weatherproof, which means it'll keep your stuff safe from rain, ice, and snow. Also, the Decked drawer system makes organizing and accessing everything in your truck bed so much easier.
Yeah, and each of Deck's 2 full bed-length drawers can carry up to 200 pounds of whatever you want to put in them, and the drawers roll out about waist high, giving you easy access to your tools and gear. Plus, Decked is 100% made in the USA and backed by a lifetime no-hassle warranty and offers second-to-none customer service.
Getting Decked is the best thing friendos out there could do for their truck, especially this time of year. So protect your stuff. Get your Decked drawer system at decked.com/raw and get free shipping. That's decked.com/raw for free shipping on your Decked drawer system. Decked.com/raw.
Anyways, all right. It's time, man. Talk about NXT.
Oh, do we have to?
UK, absolutely. What would you rather do than talk about NXT? What can we replace it, man? Already one person in the comments was like, "Hey, come on, you guys can't stop reviewing NXT."
We both watched the latest episode of Succession. Can we just talk about that?
No. Can we watch? It has to be wrestling. Riot Lucha Libre. I caught them because of a Lucha blog, and man, there's some crazy shit going on in Riot Lucha Libre that I want to check out.
The GIF you sent with the guy wiping the blood off his face?
There was a lot of blood.
Crazy.
There was one of the cooler Hurricane Ranas that I've seen in a while. I want to check this stuff out. I saw one little clip of Sammy Guevara there, and he had a birthday cake, and the crowd started singing "Happy Birthday" today. Not, mind you, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Cumpleaños, Feliz whatever it is. Navidad is Christmas, I think.
Yes.
They were singing like the English language version of Happy Birthday, and it was wildly hilarious and awesome. I want to see more Riot Lucha. Can we just review that on a weekly basis, please?
All right. We can talk about it. We'll talk about it. I mean, my expectations were set very low for NXT 2.0 last night. So while I didn't think it was great, I wasn't bored by it. Pacing was all right. Let's just talk about the poker thing, because that's the thing that was probably, somewhat to my surprise, the most well-done part of the show. It seemed obvious after what they did last time with Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes. Someone actually did their research.
Mm-hmm.
They actually really paid attention to the presentation and production of World Poker Tour events.
Yeah.
And they adopted some of the tropes of said programming.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, like Duke Hudson sweating it out. I liked him pacing around.
Oh, the entire presentation where they're basically, and the only reference I know, I'm sure there's plenty of other poker programs now,
There's
but
one thing they should have done was little GoPro cams under the cards themselves for the whole cards rather than having a separate camera.
So the World Poker Tour, it was a wildly popular thing back in the day. It probably still is, but it sort of had broached the mainstream zeitgeist for a little while there back 20 years or 15 years ago. Yeah. And I was really happy that they really did adopt all of those tropes. You had the little, the bottom graphic there, they had the commentators were like whispering at one point, which was great. They were being very calm because
that was
very.
good.
I loved all that stuff. And I thought for as much complaining as I did about Duke Hudson's performance in the poker room, it worked really well here. His playing it very straight worked really well.
It's a matter of presentation.
Yeah.
It worked with that presentation, the corny presentation they have for Duke's poker room. It's cheesy. It's corny.
Yeah.
So you feel like he needs to be cheesy and corny. When he plays it straight, there's a disconnect because the presentation is so bad.
Yeah.
You know?
He milked that last bit, trying to figure out whether or not he should fold or not.
Mm-hmm.
He milked that. And Cameron Grimes did a great job. I was really impressed with this. As far as silly main roster-esque segments go, I thought this was pretty much a slam dunk. I thought this was really, we were sitting here doing our watch along over at MF Steve here, and we were all like cracking up and having a good time with it. I thought that was really, really well done. Let's talk about, so we've got, is it actually called TakeOver or is it just going to be War Games?
I think it's just called War Games.
Because I know their social had called it TakeOver. But I didn't notice if they had referred to it as a takeover on the show, which is sort of canon.
I mean, I'll go to the authority on these things, and that's Wikipedia.
Please do.
It's just called NXT War Games.
Mm-hmm.
On there, the graphic doesn't say takeover; it just says War Games.
Okay,
so.
okay. Well, then there you go. I'm pretty sure that's the case. The matches that we got coming up for War Games obviously look to be. Io,
Cora Jade,
Raquel, and then probably Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, maybe.
Did you have another name in mind?
I don't have anybody else in mind, but I don't know where Kaylee Ray necessarily stands on the heel face spectrum because
she stared at Mandy Rose. I mean, they made a point of it on Lash Legends show.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And then we have Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai.
Right, yeah, that's the four
opposite
right there.
them.
Yeah. I kind of get the feeling it's going to be Kaylee Ray just because she I think she sort of exists in she could be either one. It's kind of like, well, I think she can exist either way. And on top of that, it should be her because she's a veteran. And you want people you can trust in there.
That's a good reason.
That's going to be the War Games match. Another match that they teased last night, which boggled my mind. And this segment was a disaster for the challenger. Braun Breaker challenged Tommaso Ciampa. Or didn't really challenge him directly, but he was like, hey, I'm going to take that title off you. Yeah. And then Tommaso Ciampa used some Steiner math on him. And basically said, son, I outclassed you in every way. And he did. And I'm like... Are they going heavy on the Steiner references because they might bring Rick in as the guy to mentor in the next 3 weeks? His son, if they're smart, they'd open up the bank for Scott Steiner because if you want some buzz, you bring in Big Papa Pump. Yeah.
I mean, because at this point, it seems pretty obvious that they're bringing in RVD.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, I didn't even catch. My feed had some problems with that last night, but from what I understood, yeah, it was either RVD or somebody. There was a different name people were pointing out too.
Oh, okay.
What were the hints last night for RVD? I know they mentioned he was like a tag team specialist, which RVD was. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy. Because they mentioned like the words of his theme song. Maybe every week they're going to be referencing another possibility. Because I don't know if Jeff Hardy's going to come down to NXT. That'd be a weird way to use Jeff Hardy.
No. I think they're using Jeff Hardy, referencing him to throw us off the trail of RVD.
Or maybe it's going to be completely somebody different. They're just using a different. We'll find out, I guess. If they start referencing, I don't know, Riddle or somebody, that's sort of also in line with.
I would doubt it's going to be a current main roster talent. I would just doubt it.
Yeah, but if the idea is they're trying to they're referencing a number of people, and then it's going to be somebody completely different. I wonder who that other person would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
RVD would be great. Sense. I'd love RVD. Yeah. That'd be great.
I mean, if they're smart, they'll push on having the Braun Ciampa rematch so soon after Halloween Havoc. let Braun get some wins, let him develop a bit more if they want him to be the guy to take the title off Ciampa.
I know. That's why it was kind of shocking to see him in there talking shit to Ciampa, and then Ciampa obliterates him on the mic. Braun gets like semi-cry face because he can't respond. He's like, dude, I completely picked you apart that time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, we need to see Braun figure out, like you're not going to go in there as a wrecking machine. It didn't work last time.
Nope.
So what makes you think that a rematch would be any better for you?
He's got to take a cerebral approach.
Yeah. And if that just means bring in a mentor, okay, cool. That's a change. That's something different. That's the equalizer. Then I'd believe. But if he all of a sudden goes in there and is, the cerebral assassin, so to speak.
Yeah.
What? Why? How did that happen? And we need to see how that happened.
You need to see that process. So let's assume Braun's not going to challenge him at War Games. Let's just assume. I mean, it's always entirely possible that Ciampa is in the War Games match. They could do NXT 1.0 versus 2.0. You can have Ciampa, Gargano, Loomis, maybe Dunn.
Yeah, and Pete Dunn. Yeah.
Taking on Hayes, Braun, Trick, and
Carmel. Yeah, you already said him. Yeah.
Gacy, maybe. I don't know.
Tony D'Angelo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tony D'Angelo got the win against Loomis this week.
Loomis, and Ciampa was about to mention him last night before Braun interrupted him. So,
I mean, they're doing the triple threat title match next week, so that's not going to stay. I mean, that could have been a takeover, I guess, a War Games match or whatever, but not in. I mean, they should just call the damn thing Takeover, because when we say that's going to be a match at War Games, you think it's going to be in War Games.
In the cage, yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they just do that. They do like the men's War Games as well, and that's where you get a Ciampa Braun Breaker thing. But yeah, Braun Breaker's got to go back to the drawing board when it comes to taking on Ciampa by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's NXT. It's kind of like not exactly much. They did immediately reference, as soon as you see him, they reference Von Wagner being Pierce's bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of know now what his role on SmackDown was. It was in fact bodyguard, not guy waiting to talk to Pierce, not pizza delivery guy for Pierce. No. I still think they're probably going to rename him. His heavy, yeah, they're going to rename him Scrap Metal.
Yeah, that's going to be his name, Scrap Metal.
I still love that look on your face yesterday when you came to the realization, oh, that's going to be Von Wagner's name. Scrap Metal. Oh, that's great. Anyways, it kicked off with, hey, Tony D'Angelo versus Dexter Loomis. Loomis had revealed a drawing on stage of D'Angelo sleeping with the fishes, but then there was like other fishes floating above him, or swimming above him rather, wearing a Tony D'Angelo fedora. So I didn't know if because he's there sleeping with the fishes, but then there's also a Tony D'Angelo fish involved.
Yeah.
The metaphor got kind of lost on me there.
It did. Are there anthropomorphic fish in the sea?
Like finding a Tony D'Angelo
that adopted the Tony D'Angelo gimmick.
Maybe he's got a whole civilization that are Tony D'Angelo stands, but they're fishes.
Yeah, fish. The plural of fish is fish.
But then wait a second. Whoa, wait a second. Why is it they say sleeping with the fishes?
Plural of fish
shouldn't it be
fish,
sleeping with fish? Because you're totally right. Yeah. Like fish is a pluralization of fish. You tell him he's going to be sleeping with fish. Don't you mean the fishes?
It's fish. Plural of fish is fish.
He's going to be sleeping with a school of fish. After that, no. So anyway, so that happened. So Tony D'Angelo gets the win here, but because of HBK's favorite act, Trick and Hayes.
Okay. So hold on. Apparently,
grammar school.
If you're referring to multiple species of fish, then it could be fishes.
Oh, that makes sense. So the phrase sleeping with the fishes means the entire ocean of different fishes.
The entire ecosystem.
Oh, that's great. All right.
if you got like 5 salmon in front of you, you got 5 fish. You got a salmon, a cod, a haddock.
Then you got 5 fishes.
And then you got five.
That sounds so dumb though. You're like, oh, look at this variety. You know, I got a whole bunch of fish here, but it's like, no, you got fishes because you got a bunch of different variations of it.
Well, I think in that sense, the way you put it, it would still be fish.
Yeah,
just because it doesn't sound right to say.
I just want to eat.
Look at this variety of fishes I have.
Stop correcting my fucking grammar. I want to eat this fishes.
You mean fish.
Oh man. So anyways, so we get a distracted ref because Tony comes in with the easel and toss it on the mat. Ref throws it out of the ring. Bang! Tony D thumbs Loomis in the eye and then hits his finish for the win. It's kind of shocking. And then Trick and Hayes attack Loomis after the bell. Trick throws a chair in the ring. Hayes puts Loomis's hand in it. Hayes stomps the chair. Yeah, the drawing hand, too. He stomps the chair off the top rope. Gargano runs into the ring, chases Hayes and Trick off, and then Trick rips Loomis's drawing, which, hey, you could have digitized that, made an NFT.
Could have.
And then you screenshot it, and you're rich.
Exactly. Could buy all the fishes then. After that, we go to commercially come back. You got a Johnny Gargano promo.
Fishes.
You'd say I have to eat these fishes.
I want to eat these fishes.
You say this, that implies there's one.
I want to eat these fishes.
So then we have a Gargano promo. He says Carmelo's made things personal. Originally, he just wanted to beat him to prove that he's better. But now that Carmelo has messed with his family, if you mess with my family, you get your teeth kicked down your throat. He says, at this point, because Hayes and Trick have left the ringside area. So Gargano says, hey, Carmelo, I know you're still in the building. Come meet me face to face. Instead, we get Pete Dunne, and he's getting on Gargano about trying to worm his way in the title situation because he's the one that pinned Carmelo last week. Gargano says, you're right, but you did it with my help. Dunne says, I don't need anybody's help. I don't need your help. And then Trick and Carmelo show up on a platform that's kind of opposite where the ramp is. And Trick starts talking all sorts of trash about Gargano and Dunne. And Dunne is asking who Trick is. And John says, that's just the guy who carries Carmelo's bags. Carmelo says, if it wasn't for them getting the North American title picture, neither of them would be relevant. He's the leader of the new school. Dunne tells him to shut up. Says, I'm the same age as you, plus I have 10 more years experience, plus a win over you. But go ahead and talk your talk. And Carmelo says, well, we can run it back. John can get his shot too. We can do it all at the same time. Next week, North American title match, triple threat. And Melo says, because when I shoot, I don't miss. And Dundas says, well, you missed last week. And Gargano says that Melo doesn't miss most of the time. But he says, I've been here for 5 years. When I'm in the ring, it's can't miss. Next week, triple threat match. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
That's going to be a good one.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be a good one. After that, we had a Malcolm Bivens promo, and he says, tonight, Diamond Mine will show the world why they're the most dominant. Sorry. All under the direction of Roderick Strong, who doesn't say a word, he just sort of nods. And then he says, tonight, the Creed brothers are going to, and then Joe Gacy rolls in. He's like, I love to see people united under a common bond, just like the Diamond Mine. And as a leader, Roderick Strong, you have a responsibility to keep the door open to opportunity. And Bivens says, if you want to try out for Diamond Mine, we've got a tryout next week. It costs students $837.50. No refunds, no exchanges. And if Gacy wants a shot, holler at him. And Gacy says, that's what I wanted to hear.
Does that seem like a reasonable price to try out for Diamond Mine?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? They're on cable TV?
That seems pretty reasonable.
Oh, yeah. As long as you get like some sort of seminar, which like I remember when Adam Mayhem talked about the Impact thing, you know, he said, they did plenty of seminaring and networking and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's a good deal right there.
Yeah, I don't think that's that.
I mean, that's like, if you get all of them, that's like a cameo right there. You know, that's the price of a cameo for all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. After that, we had an LA Knight video package. He says, I don't need to watch your shirt. He takes those things off to be 100% a megastar. He says when he came to NXT, he had one goal to be champ. He feels like the uncrowned champion, especially after what happened on debut of 2.0. I mean, he lost to Braun Breaker at the show. I don't know what he's talking about.
He has no case there whatsoever.
Yeah, really. But he says, then here comes Grayson Waller. And LA Knight says, I did everything it took to get here. Rode the roads, worked, bingo halls, got paid nothing. But with Waller, they just opened the door for him and let him in. LA Knight's talking about how he doesn't need social media to get over. There's only one megastar in NXT, and it's not Grayson Waller.
It's not LA Knight either.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Here's my obligatory LA Knight impression. Yeah. Boy, why didn't they send me to main roster? I'm in a forever feud with Grayson Waller. Yeah. Feud of the year? No. Next up. Diamond Mine.
Take that loss to Grayson Waller, too.
Oh, yeah. Getting over the stars of the future 3 months after I got here. Diamond Mine versus Odyssey Jones and Jacket Time. Diamond Mine pretty much dominates this. Jiro gets that hot tag, though. Jiro is isolated for a giant chunk of this match. Gets the hot tag to Odyssey Jones. He gives it to Strong. Strong responds with an impressive Olympic slam. Jacket Time breaks that pin up. They drop kick the Creed brothers off the apron. Deck Strong. Jones follows with a fun splash for the win. Strong win for Odyssey Jones.
Indeed. Oh, gosh. So next we have Grizzled Young Veterans backstage. So they're holding some tag titles. Obviously, they're not tag champs.
No, they're not.
And they're on the phone with Zach Gibson's grandmother.
Nan.
Yeah.
Hello, Nan.
Like, hey, look, we're tag champions. And she's super happy. And he ends the call, hangs up, and he's like, that'll guarantee I get my chunk of the inheritance.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And says, now we have to give these titles back to Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, and then they leave, and there's like a whiteboard where they had diagrammed FaceTiming Nan to get their hands on the release.
It was called the Nan Con or something like that. It was titled.
For a second, I was like, there's a convention of grandma. Oh, I get it. It's the con. It's the confidence scheme.
This is so bad.
Why
are
awful.
they doing this?
It's awful.
Why are they doing this?
It's so fucking bad.
They're a legitimate tag team.
They're great.
This makes them not legitimate.
It's so beneath them.
It really is. It's horrible.
They come off. Yeah, they come off so bad in this. Yeah,
it's so bad. It's so awful. They need to stop doing this. So after that, we had an MSK promo there at the airport, but they have to get through security. Of course, the implication is they might have some drug paraphernalia.
Oh, yeah.
Because neither of them want to take. They want to take the bag they got.
Ugh.
So eventually they make it through, and then they get to their gate, and Lee comes in and says, "Oh, I just got a bunch of rewards because I switched flights." And Nash Carter's like, "The whole idea is that we get there at the same time to see this person together."
Mm-hmm.
So we cut to their destination. Carter's there. Lee eventually lands. And he says, "Yeah, on the flight over here, I sat next to somebody who knew this guy that we're looking for." And then Carter says, "Let's go find him."
You ever watch The Locked Up Abroad?
Uh-huh.
It's always the same thing. It's like some poor schmo needs some extra money because they're out partying too much overseas. And then they just end up getting like a whole giant like plaster cast of drugs duct taped to them. And they wear cartoonishly large, like Charlie Chaplin clothes.
Expect not to get caught.
And then they always get caught. Oh, man. Yeah. Every once in a while, they'll do one where the dude's still locked up abroad, too.
Yeah.
And it's like, that sucks. It's the worst. I agree. I would never do that. Anyways, after that, we had Andre Chase versus Zion Quinn.
It's a pretty quick match.
Pretty quick work here for Zion Quinn. He got the win with a jackhammer. Afterwards, Legado del Fantasma attack him. He fends them off. They pull him out of the ring. He's able to fight them off again. And then Santos Escobar makes his big return after being gone for a week. Takes Zion Quinn out from behind. They all take the boots to him. And then Lopez steps up as Legado hold him up. Tells Quinn that no one says no to. So this is basically like the most vicious a response to, what is it, swiping right or left? I don't know which one it is.
Asking the wrong person, man.
Yeah, it got with Lacey long before swiping was a thing. So, she's not happy that he said no to her advances. And so she got her dudes to beat him up.
Yeah, like they threw him down on a piece of corrugated steel.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she sort of looked back longingly at him. So maybe there's still a chance. Maybe she's like, maybe after all this, he'll still be into me. Maybe I just, need to try a little harder. I don't know. She's taking the wrong approach. If she wants to hit at, she's taking the wrong fucking approach here, man. I mean, but what do I know? I haven't been in the scene for fucking 12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe that's the right way. Back in my day, it was, hey, go buy that. You could tell her I'm buying a drink for her at the bar.
Yeah, and you strike up conversation. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
These days, you get a gang of dudes to beat up somebody, apparently.
Yeah.
What do I know? Well,
I don't know. I don't know anymore either. We got a Raquel Gonzalez interview next. She talked about how she had a good
chat's
night.
correcting us. Left. You don't want left.
Gotcha.
You want to be swiped right. Diane Quinn said left.
Oh. So Raquel Gonzalez had an interview next. Talked about how she has been sleeping since the night before Halloween Havoc. She says when you're champ, the title becomes part of you. Take it everywhere. But with one shovel shot to the back, Dakota Kai ripped it all away. And now she has to watch Mandy walk around with her title. She says Dakota Kai was jealous of her success because she knew she could never beat her. Says tonight it's all about revenge. Make sure you bring your shovel, Dakota, because I'm going to bury you with it.
I hope after War Games they pick this feud back up, because I feel like during the episode, I was like, wait a second. They're going to take a feud that I guarantee you Triple H had huge plans for. Like, I will tell you right now, this dude wanted this to be Gargano champ all over. And I think it had the makings for it. I really do. And then they were just going to have the match like last night. But then they obviously just used it to motivate War Games. Hopefully after War Games, they pick it back up.
They pick it back up. You would think so.
Because they need stuff to do.
Obviously, yeah.
So after that, we had the poker showdown. So he had a poker table in the middle of the ring. And it was staged like a world poker tour. Duke says, luck is for losers, because like they got the ring, I forget her name, announcer.
Wishing them good luck, yeah.
Yeah, wishing him good luck. And he says, luck is for losers, like Grimes. This isn't Duke's poker room, but this is my ring, my chips, my cards, and tonight I'm going to make Grimes my bitch.
Yeah, then Grimes says, everyone can see that Duke is nervous. He's sweating like Shaq at the free throw line.
Whoa.
And he says, I got everybody chanting, you got played at Duke last week.
Oof.
So Duke's like, all right, just deal cards.
Yeah.
So it's Texas Hold'em. So Grimes has King 3. I believe it was suited in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
He bets 500. Duke has a pair of fives. He raises to 1,000. Grimes calls. So the flop is, I believe, all hearts. 5, Jack, 10. Oh, yeah. It is all hearts. Grimes says, that flop looks good to me. $1,000.
Yeah.
Duke raises because he has 3 5s.
Yeah.
4,000.
Oh, man.
Grimes calls.
Head to head, he got 3 5s. Oh, man.
The turn is Queen of Spades. Grimes bets 2,000. Duke asks the crowd to shut up so he can make his decision.
Oh, boo.
The crowd just boos him.
Boo.
Eventually, Duke calls. So the river, the last card, the 7 of hearts.
Yeah.
So Grimes has nothing.
Yeah. So the idea is
he's got trash. He's bluffing.
Yeah, exactly. But, he's got that king under there, and he's got potentially, but he doesn't. He's got nothing. Yeah. So he's just got bluffing. Nothing. Yeah.
He's bluffing. Yeah. So Grimes says Duke has a chance to show he's a big time player. It's time to see if he has the balls to be one, though, because Grimes goes all in.
Yeah.
And then Grimes asks Duke, are your balls the size of raisins or are they cantaloupes?
Ooh.
And Duke stands. He starts pacing around.
Oh, man.
He says, Grimes, you trapped me 2 weeks ago. You smiled at me just like you did right there because you had the flush. You have the flush.
Yeah. Oof.
And then Grimes is like, all right, come on. Then call me.
Mm-hmm.
Call me. Let's see what you got. And Duke says, Grimes, you're not going to get me again. And he folds.
Oh.
And then Grimes just starts laughing. And Duke really wants to see his whole cards.
Yeah.
And you don't have to show him.
No, you don't.
You don't have to show him.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of tosses him the dealer. And he says, that's what you call a winning hand. And then Duke goes over and turns his card over, realized that Grimes had been bluffing.
Man.
He got played. And then he boots Grimes as he's collecting his winnings, power bombs him to the poker table. Goes, finds a toolbox. First, he picks up a hammer. I'm like, okay, this is going places.
Yeah, Dr. Wagner Jr.
Instead, he drops it, picks up some scissors, and just starts cutting away at Cameron Grimes' hair.
Yeah, he chopped his, like a bunch of his beard off and a bunch of his hair off. So I wonder if they just want Grimes to have like short hair now, or we're just gonna have a fucked up long haircut. I don't know.
That could be.
After that, Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly, his young boy, are backstage. Kyle O'Reilly's like, hey, so what's up with you being Adam Pearce's bodyguard on SmackDown? He said, says he's not worried about him showing up on SmackDown. He's not worried about their loss last week. All that matters tonight. He says, what do we do on Tuesday, Vaughn? We go to work. And Vaughn says, I'm not worried about it. Let's go handle business, my young boy, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Kneebon.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we get Briggs and Jensen versus Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly. Von Wagner picks up the win pretty quickly. with a butterfly suplex. Imperium's watching backstage, and they're like, "Yeah, they've gotten better. Not going to beat us though."
No, and it's that thing again where it's like now it's even more egregious because they're reacting immediately to something we just saw live, and the subtitles are there.
I know. We get a quick bit with the Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada outside the trainer's room. Indy, understandably, is concerned about Dexter having his hand smashed, and Persia's trying to get her to focus on the match tonight that they're about to have. And Indy's like, I can't. He's in there. They're about to take him to a hospital. And Persia just says, go be with your man. I got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, she did. But that comes later. First up, we had Lashing Out with Lash Legend. She gives Kaylee Ray. Ooh, this is rough. You can't be talking shit about Kaylee Ray. She gives her shit for interrupting Toxic Attraction. She's then interrupted by Grayson Waller, and he talks about having some tea to spill, and she's like, okay, accepted. So he talks trash about LA Knight because he worked on the Indies, and he's like, all I had to do was be on reality TV. He was on Survivor, and send out a video, and the WWE came calling to me. He says this business is about wins and losses. He says the story of the DIY journeyman finally achieving their dreams is dead. It's about how many likes and followers now. When the veterans ask whose game it is, the game has changed, and it's his now. Agree or disagree, Larson? Is it Grayson Waller's game now?
No, not necessarily LA Knight's game.
Who's
either.
the bad guy in this feud? Or is it about more than that? The real loser in this feud is the fans, because this feud has nothing going for it.
Agreed. Next, we got Persia Parada taking on Gabby Stevens and Jenna Levy.
Mm-hmm.
We see Robert Stone. He just watches the match. Persia dominates. She's distracted for a moment by Robert Stone, and eventually gets the win with kind of like a sit-down F5 type thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. Yeah, she was like stacking people and stuff.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Dakota Kai interview. What do you think about her being all looking at shit and being all on edge and shit? I'm not into it. I think she should be like cold, calculating.
Exactly.
You know, like I've got my eyes on the prize. I had to do something I didn't want to do, and now I just have to detach myself emotionally from the situation. Yeah. Instead, she just seems like she just got done with the 24-hour stream.
I know.
You know, she's like, I had a couple too many Red Bulls, I guess.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say too. Too many energy drinks. That's what it seems like. Yeah, it's not. I'm not really that into it.
Yeah,
not really that into it. So she's talking about. She's asking Mackenzie if she has a best friend. Do they do stuff together? You know, are you going to hit her with a shovel later? She says ever since their match at Takeover, she's been lost. Her mind has been cloudy. The only way to get rid of it is to purge herself of the past, and that begins with ending Raquel. Says it all started at Halloween Havoc. Before she could finish that thought, Toxic Attraction steps in, and Mandy says it all ends tonight. And Kai says that Mandy owes her for stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's when so Kai leaves, Grizzled Young Veterans step in, and they're like, hey, some tech guys were FaceTiming with their grandmas saying they were champs. Mm-hmm. He's trying to give the belts back to Toxic Attraction. They take it, call Grizzled Young Veterans pathetic, and then Gibson tells Drake, hey, if you're going to lie, hide the lie next to the truth.
Yeah. After that, we had a Tommaso Ciampa promo. He says on the debut episode of 2.0, NXT was in need of a leader, Mr. NXT 2.0, like his shirt says. He says a new champ was crowned. I can't wait for that shirt to go on. What's it called? On clearance.
Clearance?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy the shit out of it. It's so ugly.
You should buy 5 and then have one that you cut the sleeves off, another one you cut the sleeves off.
Yeah.
And 3 you cut the sleeves off, and 2 with sleeves. Then you're covered for the whole year in terms of temperature, weather. If it's hot, no sleeves. If it's chilly, sleeves. You got some sleeves on.
Why is it that I get an odd 3 say sleeveless and then 2 sleeves?
Well, the way things are going these days in terms of hot weather, it's hotter. More,
yeah. 10 years. In 10 years, it's all 5 sleeveless.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut the sleeves off all 5 of them, probably.
Right, because it's gonna be baking.
It'll be really hot. Yeah,
every place. It's gonna be. Remember that movie Waterworld where there was no water? The ironically named Waterworld.
Drink your own urine. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, you got to drink your own pee pee.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Did you say Waterworld? There's no water.
Isn't that the name of the movie, Waterworld?
Yeah, but that's because there's too much water. The world's covered with water.
Oh, it was yeah. They were all just on boats. They were looking for land. Yeah, that's right. In my head, it was a different. It was like a Mad Max.
No,
it was like that. It was all desert. But no, Waterworld was in fact
all
water. Yeah.
All water, yeah.
Was Kevin Costner in a different movie where he played a similar character?
I mean, I feel like half the movies he was in, like post
They're all
JFK,
post-apocalyptic, right?
He was playing some variation on the same character.
Yeah.
There was the Postman.
Postman, there you go. That was post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I remember the opening of Waterworld. It had like the globe, like the universal globe or something, and then it like just turned to water.
Yeah. That's actually pretty creative.
Some fucking executive had a great idea.
I like when they take movie studio logos and actually incorporate them into the theme or plot
and change them a little bit, right? Isn't that cool?
Great. It's like, oh, okay, I'm getting. They get this.
Have they done? They've done that with MGM Lion a couple times, haven't they? They did like there was like a baby lion. It was like a child lion is called.
In Strange Brew, they had the lion there, and it was like not roaring. It was just kind of yawning, and they were poking fun at the lion for not doing the roar.
That's good stuff. Here comes the 15th gimmick for Casey Catanzaro.
They're music festivals. That's their gimmick now. Music festival.
They bring the party. They want to bring the party to NXT, but their version of party is just a music festival.
Yeah, it's the communal experience, and they want NXT to be a communal experience for the NXT universe.
They wheel out the porta potty. And they charge $15 for a bottle of water.
I was going to say 20. But
okay, yeah. Well, they're trying not to screw people over too bad.
Yeah, and of course the porta potties just get gross like 5 hours into it, like unusable completely.
Right.
And and then it's a disaster, absolute disaster.
Yeah, they're dropping some X's. There you go. That's good. What's going to be their next one? Like they were TikTokers for literally 2 weeks.
And this is going to last 2 weeks because it's a terrible idea.
Yeah. They'd be crime fighters. Didn't Mustafa Ali was going to be a crime fighter once?
Yeah, it seemed like it. I mean, Casey Catanzaro was on the American Ninja Warrior thing.
Do that again.
I mean, if they're going to be crime fighters, you could use that,
Whoa, if they're going to be crime fighters, they can use American Ninja Warrior?
No, she could use her skills that she developed on that particular show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are they going to use I love dancing, now I'm going to do like the top rope stunner or something like that.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Just keep on they need a name because I'm tired of saying their 8-syllable names every time. Casey, Carter, and Caden.
Well, Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
Catanzaro and Caden Carter. 11 syllables in that name.
It's too many for Steve. That's why I can't say Bryan Danielson. It's too many syllables.
Just call him Festival.
There you go.
It's a cool name.
That is. That's not a bad name. So after that, Tommaso Ciampa, he just said, he's doing his promo backstage, said to hell with it. I'm going to go to the ring. He goes out there and he starts calling out guys in the locker room for not showing respect. He mentions Carmelo Hayes. He's trying to convince himself he's holding the A title. Says, but let's be real. Carmelo is going to take a shot in his direction because he knows not only will he miss, he'll shoot an air ball. Mentions Grayson Waller. He's talking about guys from his generation used to travel around working the indies for a handshake and a hot dog. Yeah. Like there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, right.
He said that Grayson Waller is above that. He says, I'll tell Grayson Waller what he can do with his hot dog.
Yeah, probably shove it up his ass. And then Braun Breaker comes down. Champ is calling out all the guys for doing the same things he did to make it to the top. He's worried about Waller and Hayes. He can't stand it. There's a new crop of talent coming down. That means nothing to him. He knows he can't beat him. The only person he should be worried about is Braun Breaker. If he's not, he promised he'll run through and take the NXT title. And Ciampa just goes, fucking laughs it off.
Wow.
Not worried at all.
Wow, that was powerful. Pretty sure there's a guy in a truck and pull up footage for them. He can pull up the ending of their match at Halloween Havoc. And it seems that you need a reminder, Braun. Hey, man in the magic truck, pull up that footage. And so they roll the footage of Braun taking that L. And Ciampa says, I'm no math major, and by the sounds of it, you aren't either. But Braun, you have less than a 33 to 30% chance of ever taking my title from me. And then Braun, you're just a puppy. I'm the champ.
I'm a puppy. You want a friend? Get me. 'Cause I'm a dog. Oh, man. And Braun could just sit there and like half smile like an idiot. Because he couldn't, there's no response to that. It was kind of great.
No,
I don't know what the deal with that is, man. Like, are they just going to send him out there and see how he reacts? Are they just still trying to put him through the
No, I think this is the story. They're just trying to tell the story here.
Think so?
The speed of the story is Braun gets humiliated by Ciampa again.
Verbally, and then is that going to happen in a match as well?
No, it already happened. That happened last time. He was humiliated in that match. He got wrecked.
Yeah. What's the next step in the story then, dude?
Braun has to make the realization that the path he's on is not working.
Oh.
He has to become smarter about. He can't just be,
And then he goes to Andre Chase University.
Well, based on the outcome of Chase's matches, that might not be the best route to go if you want to get smarter about in-ring performance.
He already passed that class by whooping the shit out of Andre Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, after that, we had Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai. And this is a pretty cool match, but then it was just interrupted. It was DQ'd.
Yeah. Toxic attraction.
Toxic attraction.
Comes and attacks Raquel from behind. Cora Jade comes out to make the save. She lays out the toxic attraction and Dakota Kai with her skateboard, and then she gets overwhelmed by him. Zoe Stark comes out the ramp. She's on crutches because she had knee surgery. And they're all, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
She's followed by Io. She takes one of Zoe's crutches, takes it to toxic attraction. Kai blasts Io with the skateboard. Io more or less no-sells it, hits Kai with the crutch. Huge brawl breaks out. Cora eventually DDTs JC on her skateboard. And then Raquel uses Gigi to ram Dakota Kai off the apron. The faces clear the ring. And then Io grabs the mic and just yells,
War games. They really needed a dub over Regal's voice.
Oh, that'd been interesting.
They really just should have brought. Come on, can you please kayfabe Regal not being the general manager anymore? Can you please, if he's not going to be there, if he's not going to be the guy to scream War Games, can we please figure out why? Like, can we not assume that we're all reading Fightful and Wrestle Talk and stuff, or watching Going in Raw? Can we please get some on-screen reasons why this shit happens?
Yes.
I'm hungry. Let's take some questions. We need some highlighted messages, by the way. Chat, can you ask us some good questions here, because I did not post up a questions
All right, well,
thread.
here, Dylan's got something for us. He says, hey, friendos, I have a look at Twitter for a tweet from him. The network bios section has a bunch of mistakes, like Walter as cruiserweight champion and Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner as women's tag champs.
What?
Yeah,
Walter's the cruiserweight champion on what network? On Peacock? On WWE.com?
Maybe on the .com.
On .com?
System Zero says Christopher Daniels used to be part of the Waterworld stunt show at Universal Studios. I had no idea.
Nice. That's rad. So he's probably good with like a jet ski or something, huh?
Maybe.
Maggie here in
Some of
chat.
the stunt fighting. I don't know.
Maggie says, wait, what was the behind the scenes reason that Regal's gone? We haven't even gotten that. Like, it's just seemingly they've just phased him. And like, he was there at the wedding, and I think he was there a week or two later, like in a backstage thing. But since then, he's just been gone.
Not been there.
They have not used him at all.
Char Bison with a sub. Thank you.
Here we go. White Brownie says, after War Games, name 2 men, 2 women, NXT wrestlers that should get called up. He says Raquel and Io, and Dunn and Knight. Dunn? Okay, I'm going to try not to use those names because those are probably my picks as well.
Yeah.
So anybody that's not Raquel and Io and Dunn and Knight.
Oh, wow, that's tough because Raquel and Io make all the sense in the world.
I would go with Gargano.
All right.
And go with Gargano and, well, Von Wagner, of course.
Gosh.
And I'd go with I'd go with Dakota Kai.
That's what I was going to say.
And
Kaylee Ray.
Oh yeah, and straight. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'd say grizzled young veterans. Get him out of NXT 2.0.
Oh, great idea.
Get him out of there.
Great idea.
Jimmy Thomas says, okay, so War Games is clearly going to be 2.0 versus 1.0. Larson picked 1.0. Steve picked 2.0. Ciampa, Gargano, Peter Dune, and who else did I say? I mentioned that earlier. Who was the 4th member I mentioned?
Ciampa,
Ciampa,
Loomis.
Loomis.
You know, it would be great if they did Kyle O'Reilly on 1.0 and Von Wagner in 2.0.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. So I put Von Wagner, Tony D'Angelo, Malik Blade, and what's his name? Ru Fang. Put Ru Fang in there. Andre Chase would be in mine. I love Andre Chase. I think he's great.
Oh yeah.
Bear Winning says, if there was a World Series of poker with wrestlers, actually, you know what? I'd go this: Joe Gacy, Harland. Joe Gacy and Harland, Andre Chase, and Zion. I like Zion Quinn.
Yeah, he's gotten rid of that forearm finish and started using the jackhammer.
He's got a great look to him. Oh no, you know what? No, Gacy, Solo Sikoa. I really like him.
Yeah, he's good.
The Lost Uso, and then I don't know who's somebody else I like. Andre Chase, I guess.
Yeah, put Andre Chase in there.
Yeah.
Bear Winning. If there was a World Series of poker with wrestlers on any company, who would be in it besides Grimes and Hudson? I don't think Hudson would make it to the final table the way he's playing.
In kayfabe, no, but evidently,
dude, I'm telling you, he just made a passing reference to him liking to play cards, and that was his gimmick.
Didn't we get confirmation from somebody though? Like Cal or somebody say it wouldn't have been Cal. Who was it? Somebody said that.
I don't know.
That he actually does know how to play poker.
No,
I don't know. Who else do we know of that plays cards? You know who in kayfabe should be terrific at poker is Dexter Lumis.
Mm-hmm.
He can't read him.
Poker face.
Yeah, you can't read him. J Ray says, asked the same question. Oh, he asked though, yeah, did we find a shoot reason why? No, I don't think there's been.
I mean, the shoot reason is that I think they just want to get away from having him as authority figure in NXT.
That seems to be the case. I don't know if there's been anything more specific out there.
That's great. The Raven's Door, favorite Stephen King book.
I've never read a Stephen King book in my life.
I don't know if I have either. I've read some short stories of his, but I don't know if I've read books.
Can't say. Let's see here. Gareth, if NXT 2.0 got added to the Men's Survivor Series match, who'd make the team? It'd be the same top guys. It'd be it'd be Braun, Vaughn, Harland, and Gacy. Maybe, I don't know. Carmelo Hayes probably.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Church asks, they say every person has two wolves battling inside them. Like literally? That's weird. I don't remember that in biology class. He says, mine are Eddie Kingston and Danhausen. Pick two wrestlers. Who are your wolves?
You can't pick Davey Richards and Ed Edwards.
Well, mine clearly is from the Wolf Pack. It's no, that's a good joke. It's they're American Wolves. It's Sting and Luger.
All right.
NWO Wolf Pack.
Okay. I guess mine has to be Corbin.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
And Corbin and Macho Man.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm part of the NWO Wolf Pack. Oh, yeah. Probably actually be Kevin Nash and Sting. I think it'd be Kevin Nash and Sting because I like ravioli.
Yeah, ravioli is delicious.
You know,
but you like salad too. He wasn't that interested in salad, and you don't like wine.
I'm not that interested in salad. I'll be honest. I eat salad. If I'm sitting there at dinner and I want to make it look like I'm making good choices, I'll have the salad. There was a period in my life when I was like, I should eat salad because it's good for me. These days I get my greens and my spinach shake. But like, I don't know, I'm sitting there, I got a salad. I'm with Nash on that one. I'm like, I don't want that. If I got if I have unlimited ravioli, I'm going to be asking for more ravioli. Be honest with you.
I mean, I understand that there's a strategy to eating salad, and the reason to do it isn't usually because it tastes as good as you want to.
I get that from elsewhere.
But
here's the thing: the salads that not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but the salads that I've enjoyed in life have nothing to do with the common aspects of what a salad would be. Like a taco salad. I love taco salad. That's great. At the old place, it was the Pizza Cookery in Granada Hills that we used to eat at. Yeah. They had antipasto salad or something like that. Yeah,
with the garbanzo beans and the salami.
And I would just pick at the meats.
Yeah.
I would not eat any of the actual greens in it. So at that point, I'm just eating a meat tray.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like salads.
I'm actually a Caesar salad. I'm good with it. If somebody has, hey, here's a Caesar salad, I'm good with that.
I've gotten to the point where I know how to make I make a salad that appeals to my palate enough that I actually look forward to eating.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's been trial and error, but I've figured it out.
Yeah.
Dabbing with Dan, time to bring back an old favorite, last night's show as a sandwich.
What's a sandwich that by and large you're like just not into, but there's one good part about it? Why you think about that? Oh, go ahead.
Anything from Subway.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's good. Except if Lou is making it. If Lou's making it, it's top notch. Let's see here. J Ray says Braun will pin champion War Games. Probably that could be.
That could be.
I pinned you War Games. Now give me a title shot. Let's see here. Don Wagner, Rick Sparks says, "What are your preferred brands for condiments, friendos? Heinz ketchup, French's mustard, Hidden Valley Ranch."
I mean, it's got to be Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
I have other brands of ketchup, and they taste funny.
Yeah, like generic ketchup sometimes doesn't taste that great.
Yeah.
Yeah, French's. Yeah, I go with French's for mustard as well. Ranch is another one that like it's sort of hit or miss. I've had some weird tasting ranches before.
Literally, the only ranch I actually like is Trader Joe's ranch.
Yeah,
it's mild. All the other ranches I've had
too ranchy, huh?
Too ranchy or too thick.
Yeah, okay.
Some of them are really thick. The ones that's one of the reasons I learned to make good salads for myself is I put some ranch on there, put a little sriracha on there.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Like with a salad, it's like, oh man, I want this ranch. Hip Hop Hippo says, I think there's an open spot on the SmackDown Survivor Series. There is, confirmed. Von Wagner is going to be sold. I don't think it's going to be Von Wagner.
Scrap metal.
Scrap
no,
metal.
it's going to be scrap metal.
It's going to be scrap metal. Okay.
ES Express is Odyssey Jones winning the Cruiserweight champion, and ain't that the greatest thing to ever happen?
He's feuding with the Cruiserweight champion right now.
It's interesting. They have him feuding with the Cruiserweight champ.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I think it was just a matter of, hey, Roderick Strong is a good veteran for you to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But he also happens to be, we don't care about the Cruiserweight Championship. Matthias asks, who will dethrone Hangman in 2022? Do you think Hangman's going to lose his title in 2022?
Oh, it's possible.
I think it's possible.
They tend to like around year-long title reigns for the main champ.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Let's see here. White Brownie, given the decline of 2.0 in the ratings, let's say by Mania week, will 2.0 still be a thing? Hell, yeah. Even a year from now, is 2.0 still going to be a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. 574,000 is like, I mean, I know they're paying pennies on the dollar compared to Raw and SmackDown, but I mean, I don't think the NXT deal is too far. What's AEW getting? I forget.
Oh, Tony Khan mentioned it, and I don't remember what.
Are they getting 40 a year?
It was something like that. I don't remember. Honestly,
and I thought that was on par with what NXT is getting.
But here's the thing: while we see NXT's numbers at that time slot, and we're like, that's not great. I'd be interested to see what USA Network's numbers are for that same time slot other nights. You know, in comparison to other wrestling shows, about 500,600,000 is great. But if they're used to pulling 300,000-400,000 of that time slot, well, NXT is obviously a massive improvement over that, or an improvement over that.
It's an improvement, but man, they're at 574. It's not out of the realm of possibility that a year from now they'll dip under 500,000.
Yes, it's possible, but if they can still sell enough ads to recoup the cost that they spent, you know, procuring the rights to the show, then, you know, it's fine. It's if they can't do that.
I wouldn't put it in my predictions, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went back to the network. And at that point, it's like, why are you bothered? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what happens. I really don't.
Maybe they'll put it back on WWE.com where NXT started.
There you go. A true .com exclusive.
Oh, Jimmy Thomas says happy cowboy shit day.
Yeah, it's cowboy shit day today. That's right. AEW tonight. Cowboy man Adam Page has his Hangman Adam Page has his celebration, I think, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's cowboy shit day.
We'll end on this one. King CDM says, does anyone from 2.0 have go away heat with you? He says for him it's Toxic Attraction.
Yeah. Until this week, it was getting there with Duke Hudson.
Diamond Mine. I don't give a shit. I don't care about any of them. Roderick Strong is great in the ring. It doesn't do enough for me to want to see them. I see them and I'm like, okay, I'm bored immediately.
If they continue on with this grizzled young veteran stuff, it might be them, and that breaks my heart because they're great.
That is a bummer. Yeah,
but this gimmick they have for them is so horrible. It is horrible.
I mean, dude, we are only according to Post Wrestling, except for one of the shows that moved to Sci-Fi in August. This was the lowest 18 to 49 number in the history of NXT on the USA Network. There was one episode on Sci-Fi that beat this week's demo number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It says in overall viewership, it was the third lowest of 2021 behind the February 10th episode that averaged 558 and the January 20th show that aired the same night as the presidential inauguration at 551. And both those episodes aired head-to-head against Dynamite. I mean, dude, if it's 400,000 a year from now, I mean, you're right. Obviously, it all depends on what USA wants, what they can sell, and what they're paying. I get that, but it's like, I don't know what that number is. I don't know what that what that number is where it's like, you guys need to change it.
Yeah,
there was the thing out there. I think Wrestle Votes said that they're looking at going PG-14.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, you know,
they think if they go edgy that they'll get the numbers up.
If they're able to say the word shit, which AEW does anyways.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna.
It's not gonna make a difference.
Change their fortunes whatsoever.
I mean, if they go TV 14, and I know this isn't like, I don't think it's necessarily a selling point, but one of the things about AEW is that you're more likely to get people bleeding, which I think if it's packaged, the packaging on NXT is dog shit. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that going back to 1.0 is the way. I just think that, I mean, honestly, it just could be a matter of oversaturation. Like, do people want to inherently watch new wrestlers learn how to wrestle? I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know if that's the case either. I don't know.
Don't know. Interesting to see. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tonight after AEW for our AEW recap.
Yep.
Till then, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.